Derivatives trading involves a substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, it's Friday. We do have some Canadian GDP today. A few numbers. Overall, not expecting too much action though. Let's just hop into YouTube here really quick. Grab the link. Oh, here we are. It was funny hearing myself. You know what I just said like 5 seconds ago. Okay. And pull up chat here. There you are. Okay. Okay. Wait for a couple of people to join up since we're empty at the moment. Got some interesting stuff to show you guys. Here we go. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so in the note, it is the narrowest range I've ever seen in the, in the overnight session. So somebody asked me yesterday, do you think that the bond market is afraid of passing, of the debt ceiling? And I said, no, I think everybody is pretty confident that they're going to fund an extension, and it looks like that was correct because it hasn't really done anything even though they fixed that. So yeah, like I said, we do have some news. Let me just pull that up really quickly for you. Friday, so we have GDP, core durable goods, core PCE index. So we have some important numbers for US bonds that could move us. So there's that. But the interesting one, Bitcoin. Okay, so we're still like this in this, one lot at every level, basically, in the futures. But man, they're selling it hardcore. I just ran my script. I'm going to do the Patreon thing here after I do this, but the indicator is below 100 now. So if you were waiting for a pullback, this is it. You still want it? I cannot say if it is going to go up or down from here. I don't know if this is like the end or if it's just a pullback. But if you believe this is just a pullback, now is the time to buy it. Right? So let's just fix this up. Da, da, da. I'm surprisingly awake, even though I didn't feel like I slept very well last night. Yep. Let's just check all the chat here. Did we find a bottom? No, we didn't find a bottom. Okay. Anthony Monera asks, what's next for Bitcoin? Look, this thing could do anything. That's the problem. Something that I would always, oh geez, where's our Bitcoin DOM? It's gone. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that up. Anyways, my opinion, my outlook on price movement is that price movement is entirely dependent on the number of traders trading at the time, whether or not market orders overwhelm limit orders, and you cannot necessarily predict it. There are situations where there will be a imbalance that has to resolve itself. for instance, we just had a bunch of people sell, that eventually has to resolve itself by either coming back up or by the people that went long puking and it going further. That's how we work. Yes, so if we hit the 1300, let's pull this over. So if we get below 1300, which we are at the moment, then we have a higher possibility of going down further. Hey Keith. So it's not a guarantee. Again, it all depends on the people in there. I mean, somebody might think that this is support and buy it. That's totally possible. But the reason that the 1300 is important is because there was a lot of everyday people that bought between 1300 and 1500 on Coinbase. And they're going to, you know, what are they going to do once they start going negative? Are they going to panic and get out? Or are they just going to go, oh well, and just take it? I would expect them to get out. But we don't actually know for sure what they will do. Yeah. This I will say. I will say that this particular downturn is definitely different from the last one. Yeah. I mean, it's gone quite a bit further for one thing. It broke some moving averages. The volume is different. Okay, so what were we doing? Yes, we were saying what happened to our Vista chart. There it is. Okay. And this one is, I'm going to start another one over here. Just because I want to try the NinjaTrader thing again. Okay. Oh, see, my NinjaTrader didn't even, well, that's retarded. Didn't start my, where is it? Market Analyzer, that's what I need. So I have to add all this stuff into the Market Analyzer again. ZN, ZF, ZB, ES. Sure, we'll do 6J2. Columns. Indicator. Oh, that's not what we want, not instrument. Indicator. And JT connection. Okay. We'll come over here and save the workspace because apparently it didn't actually save last time. Okay, now I'm getting it. Cool. Get rid of all these columns that we don't need. And change it to 8. Excuse me. No. Stop that. Silly thing. Okay. Well, see, now it's working the way that it should. Looks like they're going almost exactly at the same time. Oh, here we are. Okay. So we should be able to put orders in. What do I think about Ethereum by Maxim Anako? So my Ethereum, for some reason, on the data source that I'm getting, the data is corrupted and it's not printing out my chart. But before it started doing that, Ethereum was severely underbought, and Ethereum has only gone lower. So I would have to assume that that's still the case. The big thing, you know, I would look for in Ethereum is just how much transaction volume that it's doing. I mean, they're basically they're doing more transactions in Ethereum than Bitcoin and Litecoin combined, I believe. So that means that a lot of people find it useful. And as long as people find it useful, I would expect it to continue to go up. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this Vista chart. Yeah. Oh, and we do want it disconnected from, yeah. Yeah, we'll close the volume. I don't think we really need that. All right, how does that look, guys? I think that's better. We can put this like right here. Right here, get rid of the tab. We don't need that. There you go. Okay, let's do the Patreon thing. Man, so here comes the news. Nothing. Oh, I don't have my squawk on. That's okay. Forex Factory will tell us. Okay. Canadian GDP 0 versus 0.2. Ooh, that is interesting. Durable goods below expectations. Personal spending better than expectations. Personal income worse than expectations. So very mixed. So Canadian GDP is really interesting to me because, you know, Canadian GDP and US GDP should be pretty similar. And yet we're running at like what, 3.5, 3.2. Where is it? Where is it? Final GDP quarter over quarter. That's for quarter, not month over month. Okay, so we can't compare them. But it was below expectation, so that's interesting. Even after the news, like zero liquidity, like we're all at like 250s on some of these. This would be a good day to watch the Bitcoin, won't it? Especially since it seems like treasuries are doing nothing. Baby steps. Yep. Well, I think this is the place you should always start if you want to do short-term trading. Is trade the 10-year note. Watch this. We have order flow going both ways. We've had 3,000 orders hit each side. It hasn't gone anywhere. After news, that's a little mixed. They haven't made up their mind. Liquidity is really low. Actually, it's returning a little bit. And we might get a trade here. And BCH chart looks really good right now too. Dash. Oops. They really need to improve their post editor for Patreon. I have some recommendations on improvements for them. DCR. Doge. Doge is just crazy right now, guys. Why would anybody buy that? Can somebody explain to me why Doge is breaking out? I'm not in a position right now, so if you see me in a position, you'll see one of these numbers will be blue or red. I'm thinking about maybe going long Bitcoin here if I see a change in the delta here. So let's watch that and see if people start buying it or not. I think that they're going to be very careful because they've been screwed a couple of times. Litecoin, that's one that everybody's always interested in. Okay. Looks like Litecoin hasn't felt enough pain yet. Just my impression. Oh, here's the wife. Yes, dear.
I need you to talk to me.
Okie dokie.
Okay, see you later.
Love you. Bye-bye. Vertcoin looks okay. turn this off for a second while I type, okay? Okay. So we did come down a tick or two.
Dominic said good morning.
Good morning. let's pull back up the chat here. Sounds like on both sides everybody's being very careful. Hot potatoes. Thanks to Bitcoin Cash. I just shared your channel on my Twitter. I hope you don't mind. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll take a look at that. Actually, that I should open up my TweetDeck. Doesn't work very well on Brave for some reason. By the way, I highly recommend Brave as a web browser. It's really good. It was written by the guy that did Firefox that got ousted because he donated to a anti-Proposition 8 campaign. But it's all privacy focused, and I really like it. TweetDeck, but it doesn't work with TweetDeck very well for some reason. So I'll open up TweetDeck. Has John Grady said anything lately? Oh, he hasn't spoken since December 14th. He probably took the whole month off. No, I don't see it. Yeah, Brandon Ike. Oh, you're saying you shared the channel on my Twitter. Well, thank you very much. You know, somebody yesterday must have shared it because I had to bump up like 30 or so users right when we were testing out the trading in Bitcoin, if that worked. So it was a little embarrassing to have my test trades crash, basically. I'm going to assume that things are going to be really sparse until the end of the month, but we're going to do some programming, so maybe you guys might find that interesting. Actually, I should pull up, where is, what was I using? I always have a hard time remembering this website, Trello. That's what I use. I keep all of my ideas on Trello. We could maybe work on the footprint chart. Oh, and my market interest indicator, we should do that one. I think so. I think that one would be a fun one to do. There's other stuff that I'm working on, but I'm not ready to show the world the code for that just yet. Ah, someone shared your channel on TradingView Sunday. That's how I found it. Well, on the Sunday when we started doing this, that we had like 3,000 people at one point. So I was quite shocked. I mean, we've had a pretty good community going. I'll post a summary at the end of every day on Futures.io. That's futures.io. And so we've had a good following from that. And, you know, we got up to like, I think 300 subscribers and stuff. And then we started streaming the Bitcoin, and of course it just totally took off. So it's cool. I'm happy that a lot of people are starting to see, you know, how we trade futures and what some of the advantages are, and the kind of data that you can get is the big thing. You know, especially this cumulative delta is so important, and you don't see it in most markets. It just boggles my mind. I feel like that they're just taking advantage of you by not giving you all the tools that you really need to trade. Yeah. Well, so far, the Bitcoin futures seem to be a really good indicator of just how what speculators are thinking, because it's hard to see that volume and that tape in the cash markets. So you can look at Bitcoin and you can go, okay, so some speculators liked that. Okay. I keep pace with the futures of BTC to help with my altcoin, and that directly affects the price of alts, which tells me to long or short on margin trading. So this morning, Aurelian asks, hey man, a lot of people shorting Bitcoin at the moment. So what we're seeing is people have definitely been selling since yesterday. So there's a big buy, and it just they all got screwed. And it wasn't even until just you know, an hour ago that they cumulative delta actually went lower. But on that last push down, a lot of people really went short. And now here, and you can't really see it because there's
Heath
not.
said tried to short 2000. No fill.
You won't see it until the candle closes. But there has been a little bit of buying here. You see there in the cumulative delta, a couple of people have bought. So maybe they think that it's over, or at the very least, I mean, it's gonna have to come up here and make a maybe come back to the VWAP again. That's what it's been doing. Like, I would think that we'd get back up to like you know, one of these
Below said a hort at 18.
1400, 13.8. There's been strong support at 12,500. Yes, I would. That would be expected for sure. Absolutely. I see a couple of guys in the Discord tried going short. Oh, yeah, Keith tried to short 151 even in ZB. Is it possible that Wall Street is waiting for a lot of people to short it and then pump the price and wreck everybody? I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think that any large institutions are really messing with Bitcoin right now. I think that the people that you're seeing trading the futures are all speculators, people with just too much money, and maybe robots, maybe high frequency trading firms. But you know, so if there's anybody looking to wreck everybody, it's going to be whales. But I don't even, let me pull up that chart again, and I'll show you. Wow, they're already to 1200 now. Let's make this a little taller so that you get a better idea here. Okay. So like we were pointing out earlier, there was a bunch of this day right here. We went up big time, and it actually reached
Dominic
20,
said, that time of year.
right? It actually reached 20K in on Coinbase.
Below
and
said +2.
Coinbase was really the one that drove the price, was really the one that was buying. So that's why I say this spike right here was a retail buying spike. This was regular everyday people getting in. Now, after it came in, it went down, and there was a pretty hard sell, right? But notice it came down, and then they finally hit a level at which they found support, and it immediately started bouncing back up. Okay, now watch this one. Okay, we're coming down. Look at this, four bars, and these are each 6-hour bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and look right here, they were actually getting smaller. 7 bars, all in this super narrow range. And to be in such a narrow range is really unusual for Bitcoin. And then obviously they eventually they gave up and broke. So this looks to me like they've run out of buyers. That's what it looks like to me. It looks to me like everybody went on vacation for Christmas, excuse me, aren't planning on buying any Bitcoin right now. So if we do find support, you know, it might not be until after the holiday. Maybe. That's one theory. Yeah? Let's pull up the chat here. Whales already hurt strongly the alt last night. Yeah. So there was a lot of, I mean, everything was negative yesterday, right? Except for Ripple. The conspiracy theorists were all, everything is down except for the one banker supported coin, Ripple. Probably not even after January. Anthony Monarat says, very big mistake from Coinbase to add Bitcoin Cash. It brought a huge drama. Many people are already hurt, including Coinbase. Yeah, well, I think, I mean, I'm glad to see Bitcoin Cash on Coinbase. So I wouldn't necessarily say that simply adding it was the mistake as much as the way that they did it, right? Because they added it and then they immediately had to suspend trading in it, and all of that mess, I think, really was really bad. But yeah, there's always going to be conspiracy theories, right? Especially in Bitcoin, because you have a lot of people trading in Bitcoin that don't understand why assets move. Why we're calling them securities. They don't understand why securities move. Why does price move? Because the number of market buyers overwhelms the number of limit sellers. That's why price goes up. That's it. And same on the other way down. If the number of market sellers overwhelms the number of limit sellers, then price is going to go down. Most of these guys don't understand that, and they're going to be trading off of something that doesn't actually have that high of an expectancy. So like chart patterns, yes, there is some edge in chart patterns, but it's no guarantee, right? And so if they're just trading off of emotions, and their emotion and their belief is Bitcoin is going to take over the world, then when something bad happens, their brain has to come up with an excuse to justify how they can still be right, even though what's happening appears to destroy their view. So here, oh, it's the banker's fault. They're just pumping up Ripple. Good excuse. Each time it's a drama with Bitcoin Cash. Anthony says what we need are for people to trust the cry world. With what happens, many newbies are already hurt. Do you mean the crypto world? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, the like when I go on our Bitcoin and you look at what people are saying over there, a lot of it just looks like cheerleading to me. So something you'll notice I'll always do is, like, once you're in a position, you kind of, you have your target and your stop set, and you know what you need to see for you to get out, to take a profit or to take a loss or whatever it is. And you should have all of those things determined beforehand as part of your strategy. Otherwise, your emotions will get the best of you, because you're not the same person when you're in a trade. You're definitely not. And so I'll cheer at that point, because I know that it doesn't matter at that point. It's just what happens. And when you go to the Bitcoin subreddit, it's cheering, and they truly believe that the cheerleading is going to help hold price. Like, they're all saying, hold. I saw all these posts, encouraging people to hold. And I'm like, that's not how this works, guys. Yeah, you can all hold it, but at some point you all have to sell. Yeah. Or the people that they set stop losses and then walked away from the computer and were shocked when a limit down move stopped them out. People fail because they've never set a stop loss, is what Crash Stevens said. I have to remember to say what they're saying in the YouTube chat, because there's no way for you guys to see it here on the screen on replay. And I don't want somebody in the future to be like, what is he talking about? What did they ask? Oh, there it took another dive. You know why they want hodl ... Because they want to make money, and they think that if everybody holds, that price will never go down. Dave K, I never set a stop loss. It's too volatile in Bitcoin. Well, and that's exactly why I personally haven't tried trading Bitcoin on a short-term basis. Like I was talking about taking a trade here. This is obviously simulated, so just for fun. But look at it. It's not playing. So I'm gonna have to see a super strong signal for me to want to take a risk. Yeah. See, so let me explain something. So let's just assume that there's only one person trading at each one of these levels on ZN, okay? 150, 15.5, 16, 16.5, 17, 17.5. There's one person at each one of these, right? And there's like 3 of us. Well, how many people we got here? We got Crash 7, Anthony, Dave. So you'll be my examples. So let's say that I'm offering one contract at 15.5 and Crash buys it. And then Crash will offer it at 16. So we bought it at 15.5 and he's offering it at 16. And then Anthony will come in and he'll buy it at 16 and he'll offer it at 16.5. And then somebody will buy it so Dave will come and buy it at 16.5 and offer it at 17. So now Dave is the only person long, and there's 2 other guys ready to buy it again, right? well, 3 because I'm in there too, right? So now I can buy it at 17.5. And that will continue until one of us, and well, until all 4 of us say, I think this is fairly priced. So what could happen is, okay, I think this is fairly priced. So if Dave is the last one and he's offering it at 17, I could say, well, I don't think it's worth 17.5, so I don't want to buy it at 17, but I will buy it at 16.5. So then he could sell it at 16.5 and break even, right? And now we can just trade around this 16.5 in a zipper, just scalping ticks that way and making money that way. And it will hold that price. But if all of us say, oh, I don't want it anymore, then it will just go down, right? So what we call this is rotation, right? A stock will go up and it'll go down, and as it goes up and down, the day traders are rotating in and out. We're going short and then we're going long, and the people are continually moving out. We're taking profits along the way and then getting back in, right? Rotation helps moves move. So something that causes a trend day is because there's a really healthy rotation, and then people will come in and try and fade the move. And because the rotation is so healthy, the move then has to push lower again to keep things going. Did she leave the light on? In Bitcoin, they say just hold it. So they don't want you to rotate. They just want you to buy it and hold it forever, with the theory that if we just never sell it, that it will always go up. Why do I gotta be? Dave was the last one to buy. No, you still broke even. It was okay. You did an okay trade. But yeah, rotation is a really important concept to understand, and I feel like the guys in Bitcoin, they don't understand this thing, So that's why the Bitcoin Cash guys are actually right on this idea. The most healthy thing for Bitcoin is for people to use it, to actually do transactions with it. Yes, you're going to put money in it and you're going to make money as it goes up in price, but along the way, you're also going to sell some of it to use. And that gets people rotating in and out, and that's what allows price to continue to move up. I'll be right back. I gotta turn the light off so that the bird doesn't scream at me. Yeah, I just don't get the nodes are more expensive to maintain. I mean, I think that almost every computer out there has enough space and enough bandwidth to handle a 2 megabyte. Yeah, but after changing the block size from 1 megabyte to 2 megabyte might fill up your hard drive faster, but after 7 years, we just have 170 gigabytes worth of blockchain and lots of, yeah, that's crash 7. And, I have a terabyte hard drive, right? I can record this whole session every day for a month and not fill up this hard drive. That's how cheap space is right now. But that doesn't mean that they're right, because it still wouldn't scale up to you know, the size of Visa or MasterCard. Yeah. You see this right here? Somebody held price there with six contracts, and it moved lower. You know, my question for Roger Ver and the Bitcoin Cash supporters, and understand I do like Bitcoin Cash, and when I have some, when I put in my January stuff, I might buy some Bitcoin Cash. But how are you going to continue to scale? Because you can't always just increase the block size, can you? At some point, that doesn't work anymore. Yeah, they've actually, didn't somebody actually test a terabyte block? I know that they did gigabyte blocks. I asked them what would they rather do, upgrade to a 2 terabyte drive for $150 or do 5 transactions on Bitcoin, because that's how much fees you pay with 5 transactions on Bitcoin right now. That's a really good point, Crash 7. Well, they're like to the point now that there's more what were they saying on our BTC yesterday about how big the memory pool had become? Like the memory pool was bigger than the proposed block size increase. Okay, now we're moving up. What is a Naga coin? I have not heard of that one. Good job, Dom. Well, there is a lot of people at 16. I mean, it looks like it should try a little buy above the VWAP here, but like how many times have we been screwed trying to buy the note this week? They tested a 1 gigabyte block in a university setting. Yeah. No, now is when I stop for the day. I had to talk in Discord. Now I'm not that knowledgeable on the blockchain, but why wouldn't we just cut up the chain to store just 5 years
Dominic
of
said,
history of
let's not press our luck.
while leaving the
Smiling
rest
face with open mouth.
to a small group of nodes. Crash 7, my understanding is that you don't have to have the full chain to have a node. So even if it was like 170 gigabytes, they can make changes so that you don't have to store the whole blockchain. You just have to store, you know, a long enough history back to be able to verify transactions.
Dominic said, seriously. I could see it pressing up. But I just wasn't sure when it'd go off course.
Well, my understanding of SegWit was that you would do transactions off the chain, and then SegWit would, you know, do all of those transactions for you or something to that.
Heath said, yeah. My bias is long as of now.
But the thing is, yeah, that's Lightning Network. The thing about the Lightning Network is that technically it's like it's already out there and people aren't even using it, right? You can, am I wrong about that? You can use Lightning today. It just hasn't seen widespread adoption. Oh, SegWit basically introduces a reduced size node that doesn't have to download all the chain. I understand. It's not implemented on BTC. Okay. I think that like Lightning Network is out there and is being tested though. We're doing 2K transactions per 10-minute. Well, CC, oh, Credit Card Giants, is doing 300K a minute. Wow. Yeah, but there are some cryptocurrencies that can handle that volume, though. That's the other thing, is that like really what advantage does Bitcoin have right now? Zero, except for the name. It's the first mover. Excuse me. You need both the size increase and SegWit. Maybe, I mean, aren't there other options?
IQ said
besides...
live streaming seems better than Discord because it live. LOL.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking to IQ there. You said that live streaming is better than Discord because it's live. Well, it's fun to have the real conversation, right? And we used to have the voice chat. We would use the voice chat in the Discord, but it was like way too distracting for people.
Below said right click the DOM, clear data. Dominic said.
Oh, Dominic was asking how you reset the print columns in the DOM. But yeah, when it's just me rambling and reading out questions, it's not so distracting. And I can, I can mute things and hold up when we have to pay attention. So it's working really well. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so there was a big buy there. Why is it, that looks weird. Why does it look like that? Have they just not moved for a bit? I guess so. Look at this. Look at how narrow it is. They're not willing to go down yet. $20. Oh, I see what's happening. Look at this. 12, 13. They're all sitting there looking to get filled on the offer, but nobody's buying it down. That has not happened yet, has it? 13 would have been the good fractal. Have in mind, very slow markets, yep. At least we'd have two very good positive points. New coins are ready to be the real currency to buy and sell. Second, if people want to invest in Bitcoin, it's becoming more and more interesting. Yeah, it's definitely becoming more interesting. That's a one way of putting it. Interesting. I mean, I think at some point these guys are all gonna flood south. Because who's gonna
Heath said
buy?
I can share one of my chart books with you later.
Who's gonna
Just
buy
remind
20?
me.
Who's gonna buy 21 Bitcoin contracts? Right? That's like $2 million. $2 million in margin to buy that. You're not gonna do it. Nobody's gonna do it. Yeah, there was a story that Goldman is talking about making a trading desk. Um, so when I talk about working for a bank, that was the bank that I worked for.
Heath said I set up hotkeys in Sierra to clear the middle prints.
Oh, let's mute this because I don't think you guys care about the. They're talking about their setup. Yeah, the bank that I worked for was Goldman, and so I'm thinking in my head when they said that, like, well, how would they set that up? Who would be running that desk, and what would be the technology that they would need to do that? And I'm sitting here realizing, like, them even saying that is a really big deal because they don't have any infrastructure to do that. And like the regulatory hurdles too, I can't imagine. $2 million. Let me check my wallet. Yes, go and talk to your will friends. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe they just put robots up. You're saying it's going to be tough to trade against Goldman. Yes and no, because maybe they just put some robots up, so then that just provides you some liquidity. And as long as you're not trying to just arbitrage and take the spread, then, you know, you're not going to win that game by anything else. But having a big player with the way that I trade is good, because what we do is we try and figure out what the big player is going to do and then follow them. So the more big players in there, the better. You know, the reason I'm not taking any trades right now is because I just don't see the presence of a big player yet. So many people were complaining about the price that was so high. Sooner or later, boom, it's going to fly to the moon. And this time, it's going to be impossible for Bitcoin to go lower. 20K. Yeah, they have the arbitrage robots, and they have a couple of things that it's kind of interesting. What they do is they analyze the market dynamics and the trades that they see, and based off of that, they have a robot, and they have a base algorithm basically, and then based on those market conditions, they modify the algorithm. And they modify it every couple of weeks, actually. So it's always constantly changing. And those robots are extremely effective. These are the ones that, you know, have like an 80% win rate. And I don't think that that's where they make most, you know, because they don't really do proprietary trading anymore, right? They're mostly trading for other people. I took profit for a good 35% of what I had in crypto at 8K. So I would still have been better off holding everything through bumps and dumps. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, where's our buddy Rackley? Because he was I think we're like where he had his buy order. I wonder if he still bought it. See, my strategy would have been, let me pull it up. I'll show you this, this one for the update today. So the strategy would have been buy at 1,000 is about when I would have bought. And then when we got to 100, so I would have sold somewhere around 12, somewhere around 10. Now that it's below 100 again, there's a chance that it's just going to go shoop. I don't really know what it's going to do. This is going to be the big test for my indicator, right? If this is like a D crash at 50, then, you know, when it comes back down to 50, I'm going to be like, the indicator that predicted the last crash says buy now. Right? Because we've never had, it's very rare for us to go above 100 and then not have a significant drawdown. And don't let the exponential scale fool you, right? These are big dumps. Those are huge dumps. Those are like 80% dumps. But the reason I say sell at 100 is because you want to sell when it's still going up, because you want to get out, right? You don't want to be stuck with your transaction not confirming, or, you know, if you're a whale and you have a huge position and you want out, you can't sell it without, you know, just causing more pain. So you want to get out while it's still going up. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Goldman does with their desk. And one of the reasons that I didn't trade in cryptocurrencies, you know, during the Mt. Gox days was partly because that's when I worked at the bank, and so you weren't allowed to hold it. This is the first time that I've, you know, even been allowed to play with those sorts of things. Well, so if my indicator ever gets to 150, then I would be like actively selling it. Oh yeah, the trading restrictions are ridiculous. Like you can only buy stocks on an account that through what is it? I think they were using Fidelity. So you can only use that one account that they set up. And anything that you buy, you have to hold for a month unless it has a 10% decline. And you can trade options to hedge, but you can't trade futures. You can't do anything trading. They're basically like, well, we think that you guys would be too good at it, and that people would think that it's a conflict of interest, so we're not going to allow you to do it. Yeah, you have to report every transaction that you make, and you have to report all of your campaign contributions too, which was annoying. So I do a lot of stuff in politics, and anytime that a politician asked for us to donate, you know, I had to say, can't do that unless I clear it first. So I couldn't even, you know, just give them like a 20. I think, and also I think when JP Morgan, or sorry, the president of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, when he said, like, you know, if anybody is in JP Morgan is trading cryptocurrencies, they'll get fired. I think that's what he was talking about. Was he was saying it's a violation of their rules. Yeah. I have a lot more fun now that I work for a healthcare company. I mean, it sucked because I really liked working there. And I thought that I was gonna work there for like the rest of my life, but I've it was a good thing for me. And it wasn't like leaving there was a bad thing or anything. They didn't really need me anymore, and they had to downsize. So we're going back up, but I really don't think this is the end. Well, the prediction I would make is that if we do have a crash, and crash for me would be um, if we got to 10,000. We're actually not that far away from it, are we? If we got to 10,000, that would be a 50% decline. I think that qualifies as a crash of some sort. 80% would be like, you know, completely falling apart. Yeah, Goldman is great to have on your resume. You'll basically never go hungry. Yeah, I mean, it was easier to get a job with them. And not only that, but they gave us top of the line training for finding jobs. So when I went job searching, I think I interviewed like two places and then I got hired. And I was actually gonna keep searching and looking for more stuff, but they wanted me so badly that I kind of couldn't say no. So 10.3K on GDAX? Is it really? Let me change my chart here because this one seems to be following Bitfinex more. 20 toward this one, the futures are 12. Bitfinex is 111.8. Let's pull up GDAX here. Where are ya? Oh, I see GDAX at 12.2. Okay. Well, that's a lot of volume there that's been absorbed at 16. You see the futures here are still just sitting there. They went down. He pulled it up for a second and then he put it back on. I mean, I don't know if that guy sitting there at 12,270 is planning on it wants to be filled, but that is a lot of margin to be putting up. Yeah. Where's the 20% floor for futures at the moment? I don't understand what you mean by that. GDAX equals Coinbase. The newbies are freaking out, probably. Because it looks like a couple of people actually filled them, because it was at 20, right? And now it's 14. So this guy is actually getting filled. Somebody's making a $2 million bet against Bitcoin. More than that, because it requires more margin to short, right? It's getting interesting, guys. The other thing is, just look at the bids here. Is that wrong? I don't know where to where, but look at the order right there. There are 17 being offered at 12,265. And at one point it was 21. And he's already been filled on several of the orders, so it's like a real order. And there's more people selling at 9. And you just don't see that anywhere else. Well, actually you do kind of see some of these higher up, but see what it was doing, and now Bush. All of a sudden they only care about what's happening right here. But nobody's bidding. If I sold 12,235, or sorry, 12,235, then it would drop the next bid to, look at that. That's why I'm like wondering if if my data is not running correctly again. I mean, it is updating. Okay, the bond has been made a pretty good move up there now. It'll be tough for the bond to break a new high, though. There goes my retirement plans. Oh, I hope not. I'm sure that it'll have a run. So I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm really scatterbrained and easily distracted. So I was saying, if we have a crash or even like a complete failure to like 80%, there's a pretty good chance that someday, and maybe it would even be a really long time, but in a couple of years, probably make higher than 20,000. Could totally happen. And the only reason I would say that wouldn't happen would be if there was a flippening. Oh yeah, I forgot about they were talking about in the Discord about the ZB, and I was saying, I need to open up one of those. So let's do that. UB. Change it to my big. Yeah. Oh, there's actually a lot of volume there. Okay, but how would I even... I need more room on my screen, guys. What am I gonna do? I need to buy another one of these monitors and put it on top, and then I could have a bunch of other DOMs. Yeah. Well, I have I mean, it's a 2K monitor, right? It's one of those. Oh, I didn't even remember it. It's one of those Republic of Gamers 160 refresh rate type monitors. But the problem isn't the resolution, because I can actually, so here's this DOM. Look at how big the numbers are here compared to in Bitcoin. But and I can still read that, and I could probably make that even smaller. But when you are watching on YouTube, or when I'm watching the replays, I can't see the numbers, so I have to make them bigger, and that's why. Otherwise, I would be able to fit more stuff. Yeah, and I have 3 screens. I have one screen that has charts on it, and then the other screen has, the streaming stuff. So I need to get one of those things with like two layers, so you can stack the monitors on top of each other and have 6. That's what I need. And I need these side monitors to be as big as my center one. But that would be like, $5,000 worth of equipment, so we got to get rich first. Well, I should have bought it at 160. So is this guy still getting filled? Oh, that was a significant tick there. Look at that, 5,000. And they put it back down. You could actually make them smaller and use that magnifier glass window feature nobody uses. Well, if I view it on replay, I can read the numbers if, like, I make it full screen. But I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just keep the big numbers and keep it good for you guys, because I don't necessarily feel like complicating things that makes me a better trader. So we're just going to show what we think is important and what viewers need to see. Everything else I can have off screen. Yeah, can you guys actually read the numbers here on the Bitcoin DOM though? Back when they made that, when he pulled that up, did he? I was wondering if he sold it back down, but it doesn't. It's not clear from the cumulative delta alias that that's what he did. You can see the cumulative delta here, though, that they're buying it. Is it possible to have a group chat? So blockchain, it is. So if you look in the video description, there is a Discord server, and we have a voice chat in the Discord server. But I don't use it because I found that when we were doing that, there was so much going on and we didn't trade as well. So we stopped doing that. I'm a little concerned that responding to questions and the streaming is distracting too, but so far it hasn't been a problem. So, and if it does, we can sort that out. What I might do is maybe we could set up like a weekly discussion sort of a thing or something like that. You know, like on the weekend, if you guys are interested in that. Or maybe we could set some, you know, like one of the things that Patreon recommends you do is have live streams for your, specifically for your Patreons. So we could maybe do that. Yeah, but you know, if you guys ask a question in chat, I try to make sure that I answer all the questions. Twitch. So that's an interesting question, Twitch, because I don't think I can stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And I kind of feel like, or I thought that I would get more viewers on YouTube, but I'm kind of interested now to try it on Twitch and see what happens. But I don't want to stop streaming on YouTube at the same to try it. So, Arjun, did you hit 150 on your indicator? Arjun, so the highest that we got was around 136. And now today, when I ran the script this morning, we were below 100. So, I would say if this is just a pullback, then this would be a great time to buy. And the indicator says, you know, that we are no longer overbought. So, you know, it would be safer to buy it than it was before. But yeah, you can stream non-games nowadays. Crash Steven says, I think Twitch would boost the viewers by tenfold if you can stream non-games nowadays. Yeah, it's you can stream non-game stuff, like there's the in real life channel, but I think that we could consider this a game. I'm sure that they would allow it. Yeah. So I didn't no longer overbought. I didn't notice, lol. Yeah. I mean, I think that was one of the things that people didn't realize, that the market didn't really pay attention to, was when we were up at 20K and people were saying, oh, it could go to 100,000 or 200,000. I don't know where they're pulling these numbers from, but like, you have to look at like where we are on like an oscillator level. How can you know, it can't go up forever. You have to have a pullback. Yeah, I would just say, oh, I'm playing jigsaw day trader, and I'm sure they would allow it. But do you think that there's just a lot more people looking to view live streams on Twitch? Because we could just move this over to Twitch straight up if we wanted to. I just thought that there would be a lot more people searching specifically for trading stuff on YouTube. But there's no way to know. I guess what we could do is when we start on January, you know, I'll be streaming next week, although probably not taking any trades because it's just going to be dead. Yeah, Twitch is the market leader. You can, so can you actually stream to both? How do you do that? People now stream podcasts on Twitch, yeah. Oh, there's Rackley. Hey, so Rackley, did your buy order get hit? Did you buy? I'm interested to know. It's like I think we're below where you wanted to buy, right? Yes, and I'm not sure, never done it, but I know gamers do stream both. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that if we started doing Twitch, that we would pick up a lot of people that have never done any trading before, which would be cool, you know. 'Cause I feel like in Discord we've got most of the people that have been really been interested in this in a long time. Oh, so you did get Rackley did get filled, but then he closed it because it kept going down and it was on margin. Oh, Chaotic Dreams, more Bitcoin CME January futures contract hits limit down threshold of 12,265. Oh, that's what's going on. I didn't even realize that we had hit the limit down. I feel so stupid now. Thank you for pointing that out. That's why it's sitting there and everybody wants to sell it, is they're all putting their bids there so that when it starts trading again, they can sell it. Well, yeah, yeah. IHTFP says you will catch all the people who have a misconception of what trading is furiously hitting the buy and sell buttons as fast as they can. So that's another concern of mine, is that I want to have this up. The primary reason that I record is so that people have a record that they can go back and watch order flow on instead of having to deal with the replay and the data and all that. It's just ridiculous. And this is the best way for me to review my own trading. The thing that I'm concerned about is I start streaming and then people go, oh, well, if Seth's buying, maybe I should buy. And I don't always make the I have my bad days for sure. I've done really well in December, but I have my bad days, right? And I don't want to be responsible for people making poor decisions. So if we're going to maybe if we continue doing the streaming, maybe I need to have a bigger disclaimer at the beginning and maybe a disclaimer every 5 minutes or something to make sure that people understand this is what the risk is. So if we hit a limit down move, how long has it been sitting there? When did it stop? It hit it at 7:10. So it's been 30 minutes now. And how long does it stop for? It stops for an hour, doesn't it? Now we have to go do some reading. Okay. I'm gonna go and use that now. I'm gonna go on Twitch here. Where is it? Right. BTCF futures hit limit down. Tweet that. Be all dramatic and see if anybody sees it. Now there are 3 million. There's 32. Jeez. And where's my other window? They're now at 11. So they're already much lower. I don't think any of these guys at 35 are going to get filled because oh, okay, Malevolent One was trying to notify that to me, but I didn't understand what he was saying. I'm sorry. volume on the 5-minute and which one? Oh, do I not have volume on here? Let's add volume. Volume. This is starting to look here, and let me pull this over here. I didn't even think to pull up the volume, but here, when you start getting accelerating cell volume, you know, and it keeps going down, that's a bad sign. Because that means buyers are trying to hold price, and it's not working this time. In GDAX. It's really interesting to see the difference between the different markets. I really like watching Bitfinex, but actually let's change it back to Bitfinex. So they're at 1200 even right now. So yeah, I'll look at how you stream to both. And then if we're gonna do that though, I should you guys should get into the Discord and chat in the Discord. Like I could make a separate channel just for the Discord chat. That would work better. Discord people scare me. They're really nice. Just don't post nonsense in the Bonds channel, that's all. But if we do that, we can make a separate channel for stream talk. That way we're not bothering anybody else that wants to just focus on that thing and finds that distracting. Yeah. But we can, you know, we can do all the chat in the Discord. So let's do that now. I'll make a channel in here. How should I do this? I'm just going to put it in general, and I'm going to add stream, and it's a text channel. Okay. Never. And we'll make this be the link in the description. So that should get you right into the channel. That way. So I'll continue to pay attention to this one, but if you guys could use the Discord, the one that I just linked instead, that would be better. That way I'll try and make it so that I can stream to both YouTube and Twitch, hopefully. And, you know, instead of having to look at 3 different chats, we'll just use the Discord. Use Telegram more than I use Discord. Yeah, there's a couple of features about Discord that really makes it better. So like, you know, it automatically integrates with Patreon, for instance, and there's a really extensive API, so I can do just about anything with it. Well, I've never used Telegram, so I'm not saying it's trash. I've never used it. I'm just saying that Discord was the right choice just based on the integrations that are available to me. Yeah, if you want to get into programming, I feel like making NinjaTrader indicators is a great way to get started. It's fun. Okay, so let's search this. Stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. You can, but it's a video. I don't want to. Okay, here we go. Restream.io. Someone please lift the offers on Xen to 17 so I can fill my targets. Well, see, that's exactly why I was sitting there thinking, well, I could buy 1/6 half, and maybe they try for the high of the day, but it's just been so rangy. I feel like it's still the better choice is to just not trade. No, I figured that it was, but I thought that streaming it to both would be more difficult, or there would be some sort of disadvantage to it, but it looks like you just connect it up to this service and it does it automatically, so that's pretty cool. Dave says, bro, I would not steer you wrong. Yeah, so on the programming, I think so I have some indicators that I've been working on that I want to release through the Patreon, and I'm not sure would stream working on those until maybe after they're done, at least. But I have been writing a bot for Discord to give us news. So I think that will be the first thing on our docket. And then I want to make a bot that will retweet stuff, because I was doing tweeting. Like there was a bot that whenever somebody would tweet, it would post it into Discord. And that was working with webhooks, but the webhooks one isn't very fast and there's like a limitation. So I think I'm just going to make a bot for that too. That one should be pretty easy. So I think that will be the first stuff that we'll work on. And then I have a couple of ideas. How do I close that? Let me pull it back up and I'll show you what we're looking at. So the resizable chart columns is one of the ones that I'm working on right now. And the histogram studies, I should resize it. So those are the two that I'm going to make available through the Patreon. The Discord API I've actually looked at, but I didn't want to mess with it because Yeah, I had to make a wrapper for their DLL. But maybe now we'll do it. Let's pull this out. I'll put you back over there. There you go. Anyways, but that one probably not too interesting to stream. But like the Combine Control Center and the footprint profiles, we can definitely do. And then I need to add here newsbot and Twitterbot. Okay. So that's what we'll work on next week when trading is slow. And if you guys have stuff that you'd like to try, we can do that. I also have some things, so like market interest. This was one where like every time a level is cleared, it would put a mark on there so that you could see what prices people were interested in the most. That way, so like when you look on a chart like this, you know, obviously there's volume profile, but there's also, you know, this price right here was more interesting, and so I'd like to see the things, and that will kind of give you a better idea of where you should enter. In market velocity indicator, I need to make something to let you know when the like how often the quotes are changing, so that you can tell when things have really interest is picked up. And then I have a footprint chart that I need to reorganize, and I want to make that one available to everybody because it makes me mad when I see people charging a ton of money for footprints because they're not worth that much. So I'm going to put a really great one out and make it free and screw them over. Stream key, downsides. The delay was around 8 to 10 seconds. Okay, so we'll definitely set that up for January. Yeah, same here. Like Dave was saying, I gotta get back into programming. I have so little time between trading and working second shift, so I'm kind of in the same boat. Because I'll trade here until, you know, 8:30 or 9 my time, so another 30 minutes, and then I'll work, and then after work I go to the gym, so I usually don't get home until like 7:30, and then it's like eat, go to sleep, eat, put the kids to bed, go to sleep, and sometimes I'll have time to play a game. And it's only like on the weekends sometimes, so definitely on Saturday I'm gonna have some time to program. That's probably when I'll try and fix my columns and stuff, because my wife is gonna be working and she's a flight attendant, so she'll be gone. So I do find some time from time to time, but my schedule is pretty full up. Work hard. Okay, so did they start trading again? They're still at that same price. Okay, they did open it. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys see that? Oh, jeez. It opens up 2,000 points lower. Oh man. Wow. Woo. Aren't glad I'm not along that instrument. Can you imagine if you were able to sell just before that limit down order, right? You would have been able to make $30,000. Yeah. So what happened was it was oh jeez. So where's the offer? Okay, so we do have an offer. We do have some offers. So basically what happened was when it opened up, the highest somebody was willing to bid was 1,000. Okay. Now somebody just pulled it back up. I don't think that any trades were made down there. Were they? No, I don't see any numbers on the DOM. Okay. Still, that's not good. Yeah, or lost $30,000. Somebody put up a more reasonable bid though. But now that it's off, you notice these are all gone. He took it off. Now they have it here and they have them here. Yeah, I think it's like, well, we've already gone 8%, right? Isn't it like 8 something 30, and then at some point they just completely stopped it for the day? I mean, it's probably going to go down again. It's my guess. And I mean, here the thing is, look, there's only 5 people holding the market. So if you wanted to, you could sell it through. But where is the so we're at 1200 on GDAX. So this should definitely go down. Like somebody bought 10 contracts there. You can see it right there, 1 by 10. Okay, we're getting more bids. It's hard to say. Let's pull. Oh, we would be able to see it on here. Okay, so the bid did go down, but nobody actually traded it. So I guess it wasn't as hilarious as I thought. Yep, they're buying it. Let's you know, I don't have my my order column. There we go. And just make sure here. Yeah, so it should go to my Ninja. Yeah, false hilarity is recorded for all time. Well, it was still pretty funny that nobody wanted to bid. And there is some pretty big guys here going short. Treasuries kind of fading here again. Think crash the event. We might pull back for a couple of hours. More calm before the storm, though. Maybe.
ETH said, haha, yeah. They can be assholes.
The cumulative delta did reset, so you know when it was halted, I still saw trades going through. So does that just mean that like the bid and offer are like frozen, but you can still close orders? I don't know. How does that? That was kind of weird. I have to look into that. Yeah, I mean, look right here. There was cumulative delta up through that. Okay, Mark says, I believe you can buy but not sell. Oh, look at that. Bunch of people looking to buy it now. See all those guys buying it and not getting filled? The buy volume on Bitfinex and GDEX was pretty big. Well, you know, if you think about it, like it limiting down, that would be like doom scenario, and then when nobody wanted to bid, that was when things looked the worst. So maybe now is a good time to buy. Look at that. They bought 10 contracts right there. Where is we're 12.6 and they're 12.4 on Bitfinex. The the last block had more rewards and fees than the block reward. Really? Wow. So that means that people are desperately getting their Bitcoin out. Maybe. I mean, somebody has to be buying it for it to be holding, right? No worries, Korea will save us. Oh, wow. Could be all buying opportunity as well. Alts are down 20 to 40% the past 2 days. Yes, so some alts look good to buy, but I want, for me, I'm gonna let my oscillator smooth out. Plus, I'm just gonna wait until January. That just works out better for me financially, but. Ranging here. I mean, the problem is there was some big buys in there, so this could totally end up being a dead cat bounce, you know, because if they start dropping it, those guys are gonna puke hard. Yeah, alts won't save you if we break 10K. Yeah, the whole space went down because of Bitcoin, right? Okay, so I'm gonna give this another 15 minutes. I wish I could just stay all day, but one more day of work, then next week I'm not working at all, so. So if we're experiencing a bounce, I would want to see what it does around this area right here. You see that where we ranged a little bit before going down and hitting the limit. So above 1300, I want to see the future above 1300 first. See how it reacts there. I'd expect that at 1300 the sellers try and put some pressure on again, and we come down, and at that point maybe you make a higher low. Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to know how much, like entered or left the market, look at the total transaction volume, right? Like on Coinbase, there's like the total estimated transaction volume, because that's like you take every um, transaction that happened on chain, and you estimate what the price was in dollars at that time, and that tells you how much money entered or left the market that day. Because that shows you how much money people are actually, literally, actually spent. Yeah, there's definitely people cashed out for sure. Saying what I use that for is to see if money goes to alts or fiat. This time it was 100% fiat. Yeah, like Poloniex has 367 million worth of USD BTC worth of transactions over the past 24 hours. Yeah, and one of the things about like the estimated transaction volume is that it won't tell you um, transaction volume that only happened on the exchange and never had to go to um, the blockchain. So there are limitations on it, but well, I guess what he's saying is that if they sell and go into altcoins, then you should be able to look at the altcoins and see their transaction volume and their market cap change. And yesterday they were all down. So some of it went into Ripple, but a lot of them just went into cash. Okay, so here's our first red bar. Yeah, that doesn't look right to me. Oh, I know why. And get rid of this. Better.
Below said Dominic, as a workaround, You can change the click settings for each DOM and change them to ignore input. Below said.
It's faster and cheaper to get the private key delivered by FedEx than making transactions on the Bitcoin network. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Some people saying Charlie Lee knew something, y'all. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about Charlie Lee selling all of his Litecoin? That was just announced yesterday, right? You think that he knew that we were at a top, or you think it's just coincidental? I think he sold, it's Crash7 says, I think he sold out simply because of tax evasion. Okay, so why would he sell it right now? How would that allow him to avoid taxes? Dave K, he didn't sell all his coins. What will they say when it goes back over the all-time high? Not avoid, but to pay them. Okay, sure. But you can hold it off indefinitely, right? He can get out whenever he wants. Why this particular moment? Because you don't think it will be as high next year? How much did he have, by the way? Okay, saw a little bit of selling right there. See that red candle? Yeah, I wonder if can we change this? Let's pull this over here. Appearance. Oh, Auction Vista has its own thing. Okay. Background colored black. I guess there's no way to get rid of that dotted black. The dotted thing is what I want to get rid of. He has all the time to buy back if he wants. He could be doing that right now. He probably had thousands of Litecoins. The Live Lund Freak, I think he did call the top. He did it because Coinbase now has to report wealth to the US. Okay. But do you think that he knew a top was coming? How many of you think that he did not know that some sort of a big sell-off was coming? Let's call it a big sell-off. It has been a big sell-off, right? It's not necessarily the end of the world, but it has been a big sell-off. Yeah, Litecoin has not dropped all that much. That is a really good point, Dave. So I will show you again. If you go to the Patreon, you can see these charts whenever you want, and I post them first thing in the morning, but I will show you guys now. Litecoin, it's come off a little bit in the indicator, but not really. Litecoin has not felt all that much pain yet. And it kind of looks like it's going to have to come back down. But it may hold price as it does so. So I knew it was a top and I am a dummy. Because he didn't sell. Oh, I don't think he knew, but he did tweet that Litecoin was overbought and overvalued at the moment and that it will come back down. Oh, I see. Dave says I'm I'm a long-term holder. I mean, I am not a smart man. Well, so here's how I would do it. If I was a long-term holder and I had a ton. Okay, so right now I'm only have like, a few hundreds that I mined. Okay. You want to pull it back. Buy the dips and sell the ribs. Okay. So when it comes down, you buy a little bit. It comes up, you sell a little bit. Okay. So you sold a little bit, but you don't sell all of it. So guess what? You still get to take advantage of this. And then when you start to get these big days like this, you sell a little bit, buy a little bit, right? That way, if we get something like this, even if you get totally slaughtered with what you had, you still made it. You already have profits banked in, right? And you always want to have a little bit of cash, have let's say that you have $1,000, okay? Have 20% of that. Have $200 in cash sitting there to buy. Always have a little bit there to buy a dip, and so if there's a dip, you use $100 to buy it. So that's the problem is if you're all in and all out, you buy in here. So you bought at 5,000, let's say. Sure, you've made double, but you lost, half of your profits, almost. Yeah, Crash 7, you should put it in Twitch, or sorry, Discord. This is why we should start moving over to Discord. So let's use the YouTube chat today, but make sure that you've all gone in and made a Discord account. and can post in the channel. And when I see you post, I'll make sure to add you as a regular so that you have access to all the channels. Oh, that's interesting. When we bought up, it was a lot of buying. See it right here. So now are they gonna dump them all on their face? Or is it gonna go higher? Yep, the stream channel in Discord. Yep, already got Rackley as a regular. There we go. Oh, okay, there's the tweet. Let's look what did he say exactly? Every crypto bull run I've seen has been followed by a bear cycle. The market needs time to consolidate. That's just my experience from 7 years of watching this space. How low and how long it will be is to be determined. People need to be aware of this possibility and invest responsibly. Yep. And sorry to spoil the party, but I need to rein in the excitement a bit. Buying Litecoin is extremely risky. I expect us to have a multi-year bear market like the one we had where Litecoin dropped 90% in value. So, ... Wow. He seems like a good guy. He seems like somebody that actually cares what's going on, yeah. And is afraid of misleading people or people doing something irresponsible because of something that he made. Probably started selling right then and there and then, though. That's what I'm saying, that, like, you know, you can always just sell a little bit. Yeah, Discord is really popular in the gaming community, but it's starting to pick up widespread use. There's a lot of cryptocurrency Discords too. Like there's like pump and dump groups on Discord. Dave K, I only sell if I need something, otherwise it's not my full-time job. I don't need the money. Well, I guess it also depends on how much you have, right? If you have several thousands of dollars in it, then... But if you just have a couple hundreds... See, I've never used Telegram. I'm gonna have to look at Telegram. Oh, Telegram is completely encrypted. Gotcha. Okay, give you guys blue names. There you go. Okay, Dave's doing okay in the crypto space, but he won't say how much. I'm just saying that kind of a strategy is like, you know, if you're doing well, but it's all speculative, and if you literally lost all of it, you wouldn't care, then okay. If you are truly okay with doing that. For me, if I had like $10,000 in coins and it went to zero, I would be pretty upset about it personally. So that's why my strategy and what I recommend is, take profits along the way. I remember after Mount Gox, there was there were some people that were mighty upset. Yeah. Yeah, right. You probably have a lot more than $10,000 in there, right? I'm pretty happy that I have now. I'm gonna have to recalculate it, but yesterday I calculated and I had like $110 that I just from mining. I'll never regret the Bitcoin I've sold, whatever the price. Okay. See, that's the thing is that I think that this is just another example of where the natural human psychology works against you because we value the wrong things at the wrong time. So like when it's going up, we're like, well, I don't want to get out because it could keep going up. And you're not thinking about that. Well, but what about when it starts going down again? You know? And then when it does start going down, we panic and we sell, and so we don't take the price that we could have gotten. So that's why you kind of have to reverse your psychology. When it's going up, you have to say, I want to keep these profits. And when it's going down, you have to say, okay, this might be a buying opportunity. How come you don't, Crash 7 says, I used to mine with my graphics card. Why not anymore? I started at 0 last year with 1 mining rig. I'm thinking 5 to 10 years out. And you have a pretty big mining rig too, don't you, Dave? I thought you were saying you had like a 5-card one. Oh, okay. I mean, the thing about the mining, because most people always just look at what's the most profitable to mine. But if you use the mining, like exploratory mining has worked really well for me. Hmm. Yeah, I have a balance, and mines are my entry. There you go. Yeah. Well, I'm feeling really good because I said, okay, I'm going to pick one currency that I really like, and it has to have some utility outside of just trading. Um, and so I picked CA coin because it's used for um, space, basically. You can get web space with it. Um, and it's doing really well right now. So like the one where I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick one, and I had one chance and I got it right. I'm feeling pretty good. Of course, maybe at the same time I could have picked just about anything and it maybe would have gone up at some point the way that things have been going the past few weeks. How I've reasoned up to 3 to 4 months ago is that alt gains I make in a week will always cover me from any crash that might come. But this is no longer the case if we break down. Gotcha. The barrier to entry in crypto is so prohibitive. Well, the barrier to entry in altcoins is pretty prohibitive. Yeah. I think it's funny when I look on Facebook and I had a couple of people that were saying, what about this coin or this coin? And it's like, well, unless it's Litecoin, Ethereum, or Bitcoin, you you probably aren't sophisticated enough to, or won't go through the work to get it. Okay, well, they did take another jump higher, didn't they? Yep. So now we're at that spot where I was like, okay, what is it going to do here? There was interesting that the robots took it off there, and then they put it on. It went up. Yeah. I mined Zek on day one and banked hard when the price was super high. Oh, Rackley's got some targets. Yeah. Huh. Okay, well, I gotta get going. Fun watching that though. So now we've seen a limit down move. We know what it looks like, and we know what to look for and how it might behave for next time. So very important. It's still kind of hard to say on each one of these jumps which way it's gonna go though. Other than you can just go with the momentum. All right, so I will see you guys on Tuesday. Yeah? See you on Tuesday, and we'll do some programming. All right, later.